Unity in action is our theme for this month. And when I meditated on what this meant for us, individually and collectively, universally, I was brought to the teachings of the Hopi Elder Prophecy. Anybody familiar with the Hopi Elder Prophecy? What's the phrase that you remember from the Hopi Elder Prophecy? Anybody? When the eagle flies with the condor. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Does that sound familiar to any of you? We are the ones we've been waiting for. Well, I'm in continued training with my spiritual practice. I've been going to California every couple months or so to sit in circle with my spiritual community there and learning from my teachers. And that's important, okay? It's important that we continue to learn. Run away from anybody who says they know everything. Aho. Run away from anybody who says they know everything. We should all be continuing to grow and to learn. I've never, ever, ever done this service before with you people, every one of you in this room. This is a brand new experience, and I'm learning from you. So as I was sitting in Sacred Circle just last week with my spiritual family in CSS, we were reminded about this prophecy that we all really remembered, but we really delved into it, and I would like to share it with you. This was on June 8th in 2000, from the elders of the Hopi tribe. And see if this seems like it's relevant to your life. You have been telling people that this is the 11th hour. Now you must go back and tell the people that this is the hour, and there are things to be considered. Where are you living? What are you doing? What are your relationships? Are you in right relation? Where is your water? Know your garden. It is time to speak your truth. Create your community. Be good to each other, and do not look outside yourself for your leader. Then he clasped his hands together and smiled and said, "This could be a good time. There is a river flowing now very fast. It is so great and swift that there are those who will be afraid. They will try to hold on to the shore. They will feel they are being torn apart and will suffer greatly. No, the river has its destination. The elders say we must let go of the shore, push off into the middle of the river, keep our eyes open and our heads above the water. And I say, fellow swimmers, see who is in there with you and celebrate. At this time in history, we are to take nothing personally, least of all ourselves. For the moment that we do, our spiritual growth and journey come to a halt. The time of the one wolf is over. Gather yourselves. Banish the word struggle from your attitude and your vocabulary. All that we do now must be done in a sacred manner and in celebration, for we are the ones we've been waiting for." So when I read that, I wanted to share with you what that brought up for me, and hopefully what it will teach and share with you. We turn on the news, we go onto Facebook, we listen to conversations around the lake when we're walking, and there's an awful lot of dark. We are surrounded by people who are asleep. They are the walking zombies. And they are being fed on the media and their own fear. And they are in this cone of dark, and they don't know how to get out. And the only way that they can feel life, feel purpose, feel vibration in any way is to start to spread it around. They try to spread it around because that makes them feel better. Think about your lives and the people in your lives. When we say, where are you living? Where are you living? What is your life like outside of 10:30 in the morning on Sundays? Who is around your orbit? And what is their vibration? What is their level of joy? What's their level of presence? What's their level of gratitude? What's their level of compassion? What's their level of service? Or do you have a lot of zombies around you? And for us to move into this place, we don't have time anymore. We really, really, really don't have time to pontificate anymore about what we need to do, or more importantly, what others need to do. Don't you get tired of hearing that? What everybody else should be doing. The religious right should be doing this. Those commie lefties should be doing that. These people should be doing this. Obama should be doing this. Congress should be doing that. My neighbor should be doing that. My boss should be doing that. My husband, he should be definitely doing that. We are not only inundated with zombies, but we're inundated with finger-pointing zombies. Finger-pointing zombies. So part of our job to show up and show up now, not show up tomorrow or next year when it gets even hotter and even colder and the winters are getting even weirder and when more and more people die. We need to do it now. We've got kids in this room now. We need to do it for the kids and their kids and her grandkids. That's why we show up. And I invite you, I implore you to stop being asleep and to help wake up with me. When we wake up, when we walk in this world with more presence and compassion and service and joy, then we start to make the change. One of the 13 grandmothers that's based on my spiritual training is grandmother Rita. And she's this little old Inuit grandmother. And, there's a lot of problems. Water and, lack of water and, food and seeds. And we could all list, couldn't we just all go around and say like the top 100,000 things that are screwed up with this planet and its people, right? She says, she comes over and says, you want to heal the earth? You heal yourself. You heal yourself. No more do we need these pipe dreams of being completely vacant in our own consciousness and think that we can change everybody else because if we scream loud enough or put enough Facebook posts on our page. The work starts here, here, here. Now here's the rub. It's constant. It's constant. Awake, asleep, awake, asleep, awake, asleep, awake, asleep, awake, asleep, awake, asleep. When I was sitting in Circle in the Redwood Mountains, or redwoods of California, Deer knows these very well. Sacred, beautiful space. No TV, no Facebook, phones don't work. Sitting there eating food. Food that was grown where I could see where it was grown. The vibration of it was amazing. In a circle of like-minded people who were all there to do the work. It was amazing. Talk about getting tapped in, tuned on. Okay, you get some juju. So then we have, I have this great experience in healing, and I go into my dark. Because it's not, I'm really not asking you to just start to, shoot out rainbows. It's work. It's work. It's work on stuff you probably don't want to look at before we can start to move to a we. There's I, there's we, and there's all. And many of us are connected to I. What about me? What about me? What about me? When I first sat in circle in my spiritual community in 2007, I didn't know what I was getting into. Hold, please. My angel earring is saying she doesn't want to be on. When I first sat in circle, we finished, it was a 4-day retreat, and they talked about something called Seva. And they said, everybody's on a Seva list. Everybody's going to get put on a Seva list. I said, what is a Seva list? It's the service list. It's when you leave, you have a job to do. You can choose what job, if you want to scrub the toilets, or if you want to prune the lavender, if you want to throw out the garbage, if you want to take all the sheets off the bed, if you want to rake the ceremonial area, if you want to do whatever. There was a list, and you did them. And 7 years ago, I was like, for real? Inside, of course, I was super duper spirit girl on the outside. On the inside, I'm paying X amount of dollars. I flew from Florida I lived in Florida at the time, Florida to California, and you want me to scrub toilets after a 4-day weekend where I didn't sleep? How dare you? The first time I was like, where's the mops? What needs to be mopped exactly? Exactly. What's my area of responsibility? And then every year that I continued to plug into this community and learn from this community and get fed by this community and become a more connected and beautiful and whole person as a result of this community, my relationship has changed from I to we. In fact, last weekend when we were sitting there on a Sunday, I raised the hand and went, where's the Seva list? What? Oh, yeah, okay. But I had to do a ton of I work. When I say I work, I mean all the things that come up for you about worthiness, about not being good enough. All the stuff you all know, right? But we run from or we anesthetize ourselves from. That's the work. When we move to we are the ones we've been waiting for, we must do our work. We must do our work. And it's every single day. You will have 100 choices to make today alone about how you're going to walk. And I am too. And we look at it, and every single choice is an opportunity. Awake, asleep, awake, asleep. And when we're awake, it's a little bit more intense. When we're awake, we really see ourselves and the parts that haven't been loved, the parts that haven't been nurtured, the parts that have been berated, the parts that have been tortured and wounded and abused. We look at that. We look truly at it. And how we do that is we ask ourselves questions. We ask. We engage. Unity in action. We engage. I do not believe that there is going to be some message that you receive when you are watching the Kardashians, other than buy more stuff and you're not good enough. You will get those messages. But are you going to get a message to move you to a greater state of vibration? No. You need to ask. So when you get angry, when you get, and it took me, when I got off this mountain, I put my hat on, I put my page boy hat on and travel because I'm so open that the airport will smack me down if I don't protect myself. So I wear, a powerful shirt, and I have a cape, and I have a hat, and I have earbuds in, and I try my best to navigate. And as I was driving in San Francisco, and as I get to the airport, I was aware, because I spent the whole weekend looking, being present with people and myself. And then I entered the beehive of the airport. Nobody's looking. Everybody's just push. I couldn't believe how many people were knocking other people over, moving people around. Boom, 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 boom. Me. And of course, I was thinking, oh, these poor souls. They don't know that we're one. Right? Until I got back home driving myself, screaming on 494 about the idiot in front of me. It took me like a red eye and 2 hours to basically have it, dissipate. So it's a practice. And the questions we ask are, if we are anywhere other than bliss, where can I go inward? What can I do inward to shift that? Now, bliss, that's a tall order. How about contentment? Can you live in contentment? And if you can't live in contentment, can you at least live in presence? Anywhere other than depression and anger and sadness and helpless and hopelessness, frustration, all that stuff. You ask, what's happening now? What's happening now? What's happening now? Be your own cosmic detective. When you're at work, some of you, I bet you think you have 2 lives or more. You've got the work person, and then you've got the real you. That's you. Any doubles? Oh, I see you. I am you. I get it. Oh, and there's more than 2. There's more than 2. Because then you can have your other 2, the one that's sort of your wild and crazy, let loose, totally unconscious you. There's lots of different places we plug. The key here, when we talk about unity in action isn't about kumbaya, let's all hold hands and make a circle and talk about rainbows. Unity in action is unity. All of me. Because when I fill out and I'm all of me, then I start to have an impact to the world. And so do you. So I'm a big fan of circles, as many of you know. You take this circle and you step into this space that's you, and you pull all of it in. You pull the part that screams and rants and raves and judges. You pull that in and you look at it. Where is this? Why is this? Don't spend too much time on why, by the way. Because why lives up here, and why will keep you spinning all day long. It's dad's fault, it's mom's fault, it's the neighbor's fault, it's the Republicans' fault, it's Congress's fault, it's somebody else's fault, and too much blah, blah, blah. You look at the dark, you look at the fact that you screamed at this person, inner or outer. You look at the fact that you ignored this person. You look at the fact that you raised your fist, and you take it in. It is you. You are that. You are your shadow. Nasty, full, ugly, naughty, nasty, grossest of the gross. You own it. But you're also the light. There's the key. We pull in all those things. We acknowledge. We become conscious. Why is Lake Harriet Spiritual Community the center for conscious living? Because we want to be a hub for you to walk in this world consciously. Good and bad. Pulling it in, pulling it in, pulling it in. So pretty much when you start doing all that eye work, when you start looking at all your eye stuff, and you take it and you take it and you take it and you love yourself anyway, and you're compassionate for yourself anyway, and you forgive yourself anyway, you take it all in, and then pretty soon you are unified. You are unified and you are of God. Your spirit, walking spirit. That's what we're asking you to be in these times. Because there's way too much fragmentation out there. There's way too much people being asleep. And then they hurt when they're asleep, right? Because they don't know. So even in this state of awakeness of all that we are, we can look at someone who is not and show compassion. Because we're there too. We're never at a point where we're looking on the other side and going, oh, those poor schmoes, I wish they'd wake up. Because 5 minutes later, somebody will be saying that about you. So where are you living? Look at and make conscious choices. If there's a person or a place or a thing or an entity or an organization or anything that is not in right relation with you and your godhood, your purpose, your power, your light, make a conscious choice to move it. Now that may mean you can't move right away. Let's say you're living in a place that's not a positive environment. Sometimes we don't have the resources to just go, poof, let's move to the next thing. But you can do it right now in your head. You can choose. You can choose a different mindset. And by the way, the more we choose the different mindset, the faster the actual manifestation of it happens in real life. Right? We can't ignore it and then all of a sudden expect it to show up. It shows up because we've chosen it first. So where are we living? What are we doing? What are we doing with our days? How are we feeding ourselves? The food that we take in makes a difference. The words that we say make a difference. How are we walking? How are we walking in this world? Are we out of alignment? Where are we? Not are we. Where are we out of alignment? And gently and lovingly just nudge back. No berating. No guilt. How many of you imbibed or overate over the last 4 days? No doubt. Right? It's so easy for us to then say like, oh, I just shouldn't have done that. Now I'm off track. Can't believe it. I might as well just have another. Vacation doesn't end until Tuesday morning at 9. Exactly. We can choose now. We can choose now because you're going to have hundreds of choices all the time. So what are we doing? Are you sending flamegrams on email? Are you sending faux flamegrams on email that are nice, but not really? That has a consciousness. That has an impact. Every single one of those things has an impact. When you go downstairs and you see garbage on the floor in the bathroom, you walking away from it has an impact. And certainly the person that threw it, that'll have an impact on them. What are your relationships and are you in right relation? Who are the people around you and what are you feeding them? Are you serving them? So this balance of awake, asleep, awake, asleep, awake, asleep, awake, asleep, where I recommend, for me, in this journey, is to get a toolbox of stuff that keeps me awake. Otherwise, just the concept of it, it's like, my spiritual teacher going, okay, now, I'll see you in September. stay awake. All right, well, that got me to Richfield. I need tools to keep me awake. The food I eat keeps me awake when it's good, healthy. When it's more like in the ground than it is from a factory, that helps me to keep awake. But because, literally, haven't you ever had that where you eat so much crap and you drink so much, you're gone? You're just like, you're in the food coma? That's a choice. Watching television, being on the computer, those are choices about staying awake or asleep. Your bicycle are tools that keep you awake, right? You were vitalized, you were energized, you were joyful, you were grateful, you were a part of a community, you were interacting with nature. You had an experience, you were present. You used this day you just sucked every last drop of awesome out of that day because of that tool. What other tools that you have? Meditation. Meditation. Martial arts training. Bingosity. Totally. Anything that's moving your body and moving energy and being aware of your space and your power within it. The drum is a tool. We took a journey this morning at the 9 a.m. service. That was a tool that allows us to go in. There's essential oils that could be a tool. Is there any aromatherapists, herbalists that use that kind of stuff? You got some in your purse. It's probably like your little stash. Your little stash of bring you back. I have one in my car. I have several in my car. Okay? I have little white angelica, and I have lavender, and I've got some rosemary. Whenever I'm feeling like I'm falling asleep, rosemary will pop me back up. That's the earth giving you a gift. That's the earth helping you, giving you a medicine. Think about, I want you to consider what's in your toolkit for you to stay awake. What do you have? And if you don't have anything, it's time to add. Movement, dance, community, mediumship, doesn't matter. That's mine. That's a daily thing that I can do that would keep me awake for a while. So we're going to go through and do a little meditation about this aspect of unifying ourselves. And I really want you to hold in your intention that now is the moment that you're going to make these changes, that you're going to move into integration. So find a comfortable spot, assume a meditative posture, which isn't what I'm doing. Hold a minute. I don't think I do. I'm trying to. Okay. We'll try this. So let's do a first addition to our toolkit and just bring in meditation, bring in awareness and awareness of our bodies, awareness of what is beyond our bodies. And just take 3 cleansing breaths with me right now. Release all the stress and strain that you've been accumulating in your body. And release all of the negative thoughts, all the things that are jumping around in your head. Breathe. Let the energy travel down into your hips. Awaken your hips, your pelvic floor. Send your breath down your legs, into your knees. into your lower legs, into your feet. Send that energy down through your pelvis and through your feet, down into the ground. Go imagine that you have gold or silver cords of energy, like a root. And have it go past this floor, past the foundation of this beautiful building, and send those roots deep and wide. Breathe into the earth. Let all of the stress and strain just melt out of your roots and down into the earth. Feel the strength of the earth, the gravitational pull of the earth, the nutrients of the earth. Imagine that cord just sort of tugs ever so gently onto your base of your pelvis to just strengthen your root and align your spinal cord nice and long. And as you feel your spinal cord getting longer, you can feel your nerves and your circulation start to flow easier. With your next breath, I want you to expand your chest. Breathe into those little corners that have not received any energy. Breathe into your arms, into your wrists, into your hands, into your fingers. Release all of the tension that you have accumulated struggling against the sleeping masses. Release all of the self-judgment, all of the worry, all of the doubt. Breathe and allow your breath to go into your brain now, circling your brain, finding all those little limited thoughts of helplessness, all those thoughts that you were alone and that you didn't know what to do. Let those just go on the current of your breath and down into the earth. With your next breath, I want you to imagine that your crown at the top of your head opens up like a beautiful lotus flower. And that beautiful cord goes beyond your head, through the dome of this building, and into the cosmos. Up, 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 till it merges with Creator. Breathe and allow the energy of the Creator, that omniscient, all-knowing, all-powerful force of love, supremely benevolent, Creator of all that is. Allow that energy of Creator to come down through your cord, through the cosmos, and down into this building, and enter your head, and bathe you inside and out, cleansing you of all that is out of alignment with who you are as a child of the divine. Breathe and let that energy of Source enter right into your heart. Breathe and feel the energy of the earth holding you and keeping you safe and solid. Let that energy of the earth travel up into your heart and merge with the energy of Creator. At the same time, you are feeling the strength of Mother Earth and the wisdom of Creator. Breathe into your heart. Let that grow. And with your next breath, I invite you to look at your life and see where you can wake up. What choices can you make to move out of victim and into empowerment? What help do you require to help you through that choice? Call that resource to you now. Know that your prayer is being heard. And with your next breath, allow that dialogue with Spirit to take one deeper level and give you the guidance, the message, or the healing that you need to move into a more unified state. Breathe. Move your arms and your legs. And in your own time and pace, come back to this space. What choices can we make to stay awake? What choices can we make to heal? What choices can we make to add to this beautiful thing called life? How can we stay awake? This community is going through its growing pains and its changes. It's hard. This is an example. This is really, truly an example of service in action. Because we don't have a mothership. We don't have, I'm not on TV asking people for money yet. It's us. This is the community. This is us. This is people who are making it work, making it happen. And I am honored to see the people in service in this community that are stepping from I to we. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I hope that you do that with us, that you help us to grow this, because we are the change we've been waiting for. So now is the time when we ask that if you are feeling so inclined to help us continue to move this message of growth and awareness and consciousness. This is what I put in every time I'm here. I pledge automatically to this community so I don't have to bring money. And every time I charge it up and put my prayer in it so it might come back to me. I know it will come back to me tenfold. So I ask that you do the same. Be conscious of your contributions. Make a choice. And if your conscious choice is to not spend it, not put any money in there, make it consciously. Know why you're doing it. Why? Why are you giving? Why are you not giving? Let's start putting a little bit more of an intention to that. So please. And then I'm going to offer up a hoop dance as soon as my money goes in. Come on down. Thank you, Ruben and Cindy. Thank you for your service. Here we go. Me too. Hopefully my clothes won't fall off.
Whenever my head starts to hurt, before it goes from bad to feeling worse, I turn off my phone, I get down low and put my hands in the dirt. I try to stop the world from moving so fast, try to get a grip on where I'm at, and simplify this dizzy life and put my feet in the grass. I'm going back to the earth. I'm going back to the earth. I'm going back to work. I'm going back to the earth. The only explanation for a high rise must be that everybody wants to get high and move on up to a deluxe apartment in the sky. Well, the higher we go, the taller we grow. We lose sight of the land below, where you can have your place up in outer space. 'Cause my home is where my food is grown. I'm going back to the earth. I'm going back to the earth. I'm going back to work. I'm going back to the earth. I'm going back to the earth. All right, let's get to resting on this bridge. We are animals. We are animals. We are wild. We are wild. It started with emotion at the bottom of the ocean. Now we're swinging from the tops of the trees. Oh, we are animals. We are animals. We are wild. We are wild. And to truly be forgiven, we must all get back to living with the land in harmony. I'm going back to the earth. I'm going back to the earth. I'm going back to work. I'm going back to the earth. Back to the earth.
grounded and present, feeling the energy of the earth, feeling the energy of spirit right in the middle of your heart. Send that energy all the way around to the person to your left and the person on their left, and so on and so on and so on. Send that same beautiful, divine, grounded energy to the person to your right and their right and their right and their right until you meet you on the other side. You are whole and complete, and this circle is complete. Go out there and make it a beautiful day, y'all. See you later.